Is this a private meeting? I don't know very much about Voxels.
No, it's not private. It's super public.
Okay.
Super duper public. Yeah. All good.
Guys for welcoming me.
Thanks for joining. Definitely open to all. We're actually going to be streaming on Twitch as well. It's Storytime DAO. You can jump into Voxels, but we try to hold these rooms 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But only on Wednesdays do we actually live stream them into Voxels and encourage others to share art with us that we can also put on screen in Voxels and on our live stream. So just kind of a way to show what the community, some kind of art from the community, as well as allow for anybody who has any projects or creations or stories or whatever the case may be to share them with us if they like. Maybe they want some feedback. Maybe they're looking for a team member to help them get something off the ground. It's all about collaboration, building. And welcome Ingrid and William and Pilar. How goes it?
Voxels, by the way, it's a metaverse, just for context.
Yes, I'm going to get that link up here right away.
I think I'm going to have a grand opening party at my Voxels spot too when I finish.
Nice. The new big one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blockchain Gospel headquarters.
For sure.
I'm almost finished, I guess.
I know Jagar, he was working on what you asked him to. He was working on that earlier.
A word?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Awesome.
Hey, y'all, I've been away for a moment. It's good to be back.
How you doing, William?
Good, man. Dealing with a lot of IRL stuff. I've been back and forth to LA like 3 times since I've last been in the room. Doing stuff. It's been fun. It's been great. But, yeah, it's nice to be back.
You going to be in LA this weekend?
No, I'm not going to be there this weekend. I may be the last week in September, maybe the first week in October, maybe. And
I'll be in LA Friday.
Really?
Yeah, well, not LA. I'll be in Long Beach, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was down there. Yeah, I was down there. I love it. Yeah, I used to live down in Belmont Shores, way back in the day. I don't know, the South Long Beach. Anyhow, I did nominate Josh Emmett, Storybrink, for membership. So I don't know if he's going to pop in today or not. I reminded him, but hopefully he'll be involved.
Yeah, it would be Thursday tomorrow that we definitely like to hear from him. But he's also been on the Friend of the DAO list already, so he would be voted on with the list of friends. So.
Yeah, just give everybody a heads up. So.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah, he was here yesterday too. He had a really good brief chat. I was on the topic that we were just talking about before others entered, which is awesome. Glad we got some more people in here around basically aggregating our skills that we have within the DAO and actually getting agreement from those who hold those skills and want to offer them within the DAO essentially as a value add to projects that come through the DAO. And the way I framed it yesterday, it's like we have these 2 pillars, right? And this is creative, so it's all part of community engagement. So we have the incubation pillar and we have the aggregation pillar, right? So if you look at the incubation side, that's like anybody, like for Rick example, or even Locutus, people who came to Storytime DAO with a little bit of creativity, maybe had some ideas about what they would like to build if only they had X, Y, and Z, and then they find X, Y, and Z at Storytime DAO, right? And maybe they're able to actually pull a story together, pull a project together, and see it through. So that's kind of incubation, right? And that in and of itself, I would say, is worth the value of that 10%. After all is said and done and it's minted and everyone knows their percentages, right? So that's the incubation lane, But then if you look at the aggregation side, right? And let's say we have someone jumps in here, for example, Low Sleazy and his team with the DAO folk, and they've got basically a full project. Art is done, the concept is done, story's done, pretty much everything's almost ready to go, but maybe it's marketing, maybe it's Discord support, maybe it's whatever the case may be, but they have very specific needs still. And if we do offer those in-house, how can we kind of present that value to those kind of projects, right? So there has always been kind of this two-part angle to it. And I think the incubation side is obvious and relatively easy. but the aggregation side, pulling projects in, you know, we have to really give them that value. And so we had a pretty long conversation about it at the executive level Monday night. And then Josh had an interesting point on kind of framing it almost as an in-house agency, that, you know, essentially revenue goes to the DAO, but also adds value to projects that come to the DAO. And then Adrian was just mentioning how it gets a little messy, or it could potentially, because it essentially almost has to be run by the executive board because it's a DAO function. And then I was just going to say maybe the solution to that is to actually have it set up as its own project within the DAO, but maybe the board of that project or the leadership team of that project is comprised of, you know, 3 or 4 executive members from the DAO or something like that. However we want to set it up, I think it was a really good question, you know, as far as Lo and others kind of coming in, like what is the value add if I bring a project to Storytime DAO, you know? So great conversation, and we had some pretty good input about it yesterday, and would love to hear anybody else's thoughts. And Adrian, I feel like you were about to say something more about that before others joined, and yeah, that's where we were at. William, you dropped down. I don't know why. Your thoughts, Adrian? Is that a solution, or do you think it's still too complicated?
Repeat it back to me. I was reading something.
So rather than it necessarily be like an actual function of the DAO, it's more of a project running within the DAO, but it is, you know, obviously revenue would be going, like more than 10% would be going to the DAO, and the other revenue would have to be agreed upon by the people who hold those skill sets and be very transparent and accountable, right, of how that's going to work for them. I mean, essentially what the way I understand it is these people would have to essentially be okay with getting paid on the back end, is what it seems like. Either that, or we have the funds up front to compensate them, but we know in the short term that's not the option, right? So it seems like, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a heavy lift to try to take on ourselves. I've already heard that there are, you know, members of our community, maybe not specifically members of the DAO, but members of our community who have an actual heart interest in like building an agency. And it may be worth it for us to talk to them on the back end to see if there's like partnership where we can absolve ourselves from responsibility, but we could, you know, give our members access to that kind of organization if that's something that someone else wants to build and we think it's a good partnership. But I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to us doing that, I think that it goes against what we've already intentionally tried to set up to make sure that the DAO entity itself, the nonprofit entity itself, is not in the middle of that kind of situation. You know what I mean? Is not taking responsibility for that kind of thing.
And if you think that's set up as a team that happens to have executive board members on it, a team that operates autonomously and takes responsibility autonomously.
I think we should get in a groove of operating autonomously at base level first before we add on functionality. Yeah, I think that if we're going to house it and run it ourselves, I think it's something that could be a roadmap item, but I think we've got to get some functionality, you know, headed on first, just at a base level. And I think that it's something that we should, like I said, also consider on the back end that, you know, once we kind of get to our own level of stability within the DAO, we actually are operating fully and we've got like our legal stuff taken care of, to either take that underneath as a project, like you said, or to consider it, you know, something that we may be able to partner with someone else on.
That makes total sense for sure. So what I'm hearing maybe is that our offer of value right now is leaning mostly in the incubation side, and the aggregator value will have to kind of come later when we have a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, and I don't think it means that we don't have to figure out how that functionality can work internally inside the DAO. But I think if there's anything that's going to be externally facing, then that can be a roadmap item. We can figure out how we want to, communicate our own talents and our skills and how we want to contribute to different projects internally as members of the DAO completely on the inside, but to really have that value add for that kind of thing to be advertised externally, that should wait. We got to get our own house in order.
Sleazy, any thoughts? Or anybody else? Necessary conversation.
Very necessary.
I would like.
Go ahead.
It's a beautiful thing that we have the people that we can do all of this with. My thought is that if it goes too far into the future before we think about it, that everyone will already be doing side projects and doing their own thing, that it won't be no need for them to come back and say, well, we're going to do it with the Storytime DAO. We're not going to do it that way. I'm just going to continue to hire myself out. You get what I'm saying? Because now I'm sharing my profit with Storytime DAO instead of collecting all of my profit myself. So if it was something that we did in the opening and we made it part of our membership thing that says that, we're going to form this and, it's not here today, but it will be, and we would like to use the members that way, then yeah. But if we just put it on a back burner, not saying you're wrong, I'm not saying that, it lends to have people believe that, well, I can do that myself. While I'm doing other stuff with you guys, I can still do that over there, and it makes me no difference.
Because they can do that themselves. And I'm weary of narratives and not wanting to communicate it in that way, because I just feel like, at the end of the day, they absolutely can do that themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hear your point. You have a great point. But at the same time, I don't know if the members should be products in that way. Because that's how it feels.
Remember, I'm losing you. I couldn't hear you. Or is it me going in the matrix?
No, it was you. You were in the matrix. What I was saying was that the members can do that themselves. They absolutely can. And I'm not sure, while I understand where you're coming from, if it's in our best interest, considering what the intention is with this style, to steer them or try to convince them otherwise, that they can't do that themselves. But if anything, to encourage and to promote them if that's something they desire to do, and have anything else supplemental be a resource for them if that's something that they personally don't want to do themselves and they want to benefit from someone else's resource. But I'm just super weary of taking a stance and telling someone that they should look to someone else to do it for them if they actually are that person who wants to do it themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it feels more like the members would be a product in that way, and I'm not sure that they should be. That's just my perspective, though. So.
Yeah, I would agree. And beyond that, it's also just being clear that people who want the service and projects that need specific skill sets that need to be filled, as opposed to, yeah, like you say, we're not out here trying to create reliance upon us. Definitely not. If anything, we're trying to motivate creators to be able to be, more well-armed to get their projects done on their own, but also collaborate with those within the DAO, so everyone's helping each other. But definitely, no, we're not trying to create a reliance type of situation.
But it may be needed.
Yeah, and as long as the need is genuine,
I
right?
don't have all those skills. I would need everyone's help. So then, for me to be...
That's great, though.
Say it again?
So that's great, though. I mean, like, yeah, that's great. For those who need all of that help, we would still want to provide a resource for those who need it. And that's the half that I think is great. The other half that I'm a little weary about is like trying to position a narrative that for those who want to do it themselves and don't need our help or even want to learn it and be that resource for themselves, that we may not want to deter that. We may want to, encourage that. You know what I mean?
I get that.
That's more in line.
I'm just looking at the other side, because until I can learn and be able to do more of the things, then I would be totally relying on everything that is in Storytime DAO right now, because I'm not capable. So I'm looking at it from a standpoint of the person that's coming in that doesn't have anything but has ideals and wants to use their ideals to become a part of the metaverse and do things in the NFT space and in Web3 and in everything else. You understand what I'm saying? So if the members in Storytime DAO already know coming in that this would be a function that Storytime DAO has up for offer for those that need those services, they don't have a problem with it, because we would already have established, well, if you're going to do that and you're going to come through Storytime DAO, then we're going to do a percentage thing like this, so that, that's what they would make, and then Storytime DAO would still make something, because I'm still a member of Storytime DAO. Now, if I'm an outsider, okay, I don't know none of y'all. I'm coming to y'all saying, hey, how you doing? I heard you guys got a great organization over here. Can I get some help? What do we do then? We're going to help the person quite naturally, but at the same time, we need to be able to have people on deck that we can say, hey, can we do this or can't we do this? Do we have time? Do we have space to help a person build something? Exactly. And if we already have in the framework saying that that's what part of our goal is, it works easier. But if everybody is busy, then you can't help nobody else until those people are freed up.
Right, Gansey. So you're hitting the nail on the head as far as the topic what the solution we're trying to find. And I think Adrian's just saying right now, well, it's an important debate, and I hear what you're saying, because it is part of what we're offering, and we do want that value add to projects that are near final or even final, and we should be able to answer that question. I don't know if you had more to say, Gansey, and then we'll go to Lo.
Yeah, I think this is an important conversation. The thing I think is most important is that we have to get to the point where we realize that Storytime DAO has to have more than a purpose than us just hanging out together while we're making stuff. All right, and what is that? And what does it look like? And then what are the members comfortable with offering and then getting in return for what they're offering? And that's a wider conversation than just what I think. You know what I mean?
Anybody else have thoughts? That additional value? How best to frame it? I definitely don't think it should be a scenario where members are products. I think it's a scenario where members have valuable skill sets that they want to, or that they're willing to put to use for a project that they support. So it would never be a situation where you signed on to help the DAO, and therefore if we say a DAO project's in, you must help them. I don't think we'd ever be that prescriptive, but the goal would be to have people on deck who do have specific skill sets that we can then create. I can't remember if it was Lo or who else said a la carte menu, but essentially create a kind of a la carte menu of like, these are the skills we offer within the DAO, while understanding, I guess it's how do we clarify that? It's like, it's not necessary that there's going to be guaranteed like these skill sets are going to do work for you. unless there's maybe X cost, and is there a option A, option B, option C? Option A, maybe they're willing to jump into the project, help you out, and be given a clear, accountable percentage on the splits, and then help that way. Or option B, they're paid up front X amount, and that's what they agree to. So it is a heavy lift, to your point, Adrian, but it's also on brand, and I think an important question to be able to answer as far as what is that value that a project coming into Storytime DAO can get from the DAO, and what are we prepared to try to set up for those type of projects. Again, the aggregator side of things, pulling projects in, wanting projects to see the Storytime DAO community, what we're doing in the metaverse, what we're doing, whatever the case may be, Clubhouse, Twitter, wherever, but being able to actually attract people who like what we're doing, and then give a clear response when they say, what could you do for my project? I think it'd be good. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? Ingrid or Jake or Jeffrey, welcome. Steven, Ebro with his peddler account. Got Rick and Z Creative and William hanging out in the crowd.
What's going on now?
What's up, Jake?
Hey, so we have these members and everybody that's helped set this up, and I guess the concept that we help our members publicly, go through the process of creating these stories and distributing them, and then now we have a case study or a bunch of them, or whereas they're not really products, but we're helping collectively move their story from idea to distribution and everything in between, production, pre-post or whatever it is. In that time or during that time or whatever the time is, maybe it's like, okay, we're not taking on any new stories outside to help, bring in, profit, from outside people until, said time, or what's the, yeah. Because then, is there like a set time before we do this extra thing, right? Because we still got a lot of work to do with the member side, right? Or am I wrong on that?
You're not wrong, and the best way I can frame it and compartmentalize it in my head is that there is like the incubation lane, which is what I believe you're referencing, as far as the people coming together, having those projects come to fruition, get minted. And like you said, that will probably be a process that gets better as we iron it out and as projects actually get minted from within the community. And I think that if we can separate it, looking at it like it's the incubation side of it, if I'm saying this because it's directly from our mission and vision, right? Talking about being an incubator and aggregator of epic stories and works of art on the blockchain, so right. Yeah, so the incubation lane, I think, fits everything you just said. And then I think the question is for projects that still want to see some value and like the community, maybe they just know a few people and they like the vibe or whatever the case may be as far as why or how they heard about Storytime DAO, but when they ask us, what value can you add to our project that is near final or final, it would be nice to just have, maybe even just a list of skills within the DAO that are potentially going to be at your service. Now, we can't guarantee that they will be at the service, right? So it's how we frame that and what is the offer, but there should be a clear response to that question, I think.
Yeah, I hear you. Like a talent agency, like we got a list of, members or otherwise that have a certain set of skills, that could help you out with X, Y, and Z with, throughout the process. But like, what I'm really excited about is having like a few, like this is Storytime DAO branded, or at least part, like the little stamp is on it, right? This project, this story or whatever it is, has been, helped produced by Storytime DAO, because then people can see, impact and and we can be like, oh wow, that's the process that really worked for this one. It just makes us better too. But yeah, I hear you. That's more incubation though.
For sure, though. No, I agree. I can't wait to see that happening.
Oh, that's down the road, though. Correct. That's not what we're shooting for in the next 6 months. That's down the road.
No, I mean that's what any project that's going through right now, and Mints, a project, would give credit to Storytime DAO as having come through the collaboration with Storytime DAO. If they're cool with it, maybe we put a little, Storytime DAO plug in their description. Whether there's a logo used somewhere in their visuals, that's up to them. We wouldn't force them, I don't think, necessarily to put the logo on it. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to have projects being able to mint within the next 6 months, most definitely. I know there's some that want to mint like within the next couple weeks, but we do need to just make sure we have connections with our main Gnosis wallet and all of that ironed out. And we do, again, always going to bang this drum of doing the hard part around the split sheet and the percentages being very clearly laid out, and everything above board and signed off on before it gets minted. But that can happen within the next month or weeks, and we can start seeing certain members, certain project teams that get all those I's dotted and T's crossed, minting their project. That is the goal for the not so distant future.
It's like powered by AWS, powered by
Storytime DAO.
Yeah.
That's the incubation side, and I'm excited about that for sure. Yeah.
Well, okay, so speaking for DAO folk, right? If so, now one of the things that we wanted to be able to do is allow the people who get one of the PFPs from the DAO folk is to participate in our story world, right? In the universe that we set up for DAO folk, right? In our multiverse, whatever, our megaverse or whatever the fuck we end up calling that shit, right? So could we pitch that the people who are approved by the DAO folk community get shuffled off to Storytime DAO to make their comics a reality? You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes. And you're saying this would be almost like spin-off projects of DAO folk?
No, I'm saying that would be the value add for DAO folk from Storytime DAO, right?
Oh, okay.
Like that's part of how we're marketing our project, right? As we are part of Storytime DAO, your stories, the people in the community who are buying these PFPs will be giving assistance to create their own comics featuring the characters that they own.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a really good value add, yeah. And I mean, it's totally in line with the story time for sure. So that's really cool. And knowing the art coming out of that project, I'm sure you'd have some
You understand what I'm saying?
lots of inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel me?
I like it. Man. So that's it. I think that's kind of, yeah, that type of collaboration falls under collaboration, right? Is the value add that we do have or that we can present, without having to get too much into dollars and cents, right? Because it really comes down to collaboration and people loving your art, loving your project, and wanting to do a derivative of it, and then getting the support they need for that derivative through the DAO. For sure. That's a really cool concept. And I don't know how many months ago I was talking about my derivative stuff, which I will be rebringing to the community at some point. A couple derivative projects that I'm.
You made me buy some just to get in on it.
It's going down, man. Punk Force, it's going down.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I bought the shit. I remember. I bought one.
Man, I keep buying those. They're like 0.002 or something. I like them, man. Yeah. Anyways,
Lil Sleazy has a character in there. I'll be in there. I'm there. I'm everywhere.
That's what's up. So exactly. I really think derivatives. Obviously, there are people just milking derivatives for a quick buck and all that, and most of those projects are shit. But there's a space for genuine derivative projects that are hella creative and take some of these CCO graphics, people that have minted copyright-free PFPs, and there's a lot of opportunity there, you know. And then specifically with DAO folk, ones like that where it's not so copyright free, but they're giving, you know, certain types of derivative rights to owners, if I'm understanding you correctly, Lo, to be able to actually lean on the creative community and see what they come up with. Yeah, that's a really cool concept. So yeah, derivatives are a whole other world, and lots of opportunities there for sure. How's everybody doing? Anybody jump into the voxel space? Are there any questions? Anyone have any community stories or projects they want to share? I know we've been talking mostly Storytime DAO stuff as far as what our value offer is, which is very relevant to community engagement. But if anyone has anything else they want to share, probably going to be on a tight 60 minutes today, I think. Unless Lo wants to keep it open longer. Anybody? So Lo, what's your timeline looking like with DAO folk?
We're actually really more concerned about who's gonna buy it instead of when they're gonna buy it.
That's a good way to think for sure. And it's Solana, right?
It's both.
Oh, both.
Ethereum.
I forgot about that.
Just, there'll be different things going on different chains. You know what I mean? There's a game aspect. There's a gamified aspect on Solana. There's a creative aspect on Ethereum, and yeah.
Exciting.
It's ready though. I mean, it's ready. It's ready. We just need a.
That dev work must have been a headache too. I was gonna say that dev work must have been a headache getting both an Ethereum one and a Solana one ready.
I mean, techno king.
No doubt.
Nice. Yeah. So there's a couple extra add-ons that we'll be adding, but you know, for the most part, it's pretty much done. We just need to strategize and roll out, and see how we can be a part of that as well. You know what I mean? It's just ironing out the nuts and bolts of everything that we're doing.
Yeah. When it comes to, like you say, to that question of who's gonna buy it, have you tried, you know, all these crazy little alpha groups or these little degen groups? You know, you just gotta find the right person to be like, hey, this is gonna be hot shit, and then they get all their degens to buy it.
Yeah, well, there's that too, but then that's not really what we want, right?
No,
We
that's
don't
not
want
real
a bunch of
community,
degens to
right?
buy it. What we want is people who want to participate moving forward to buy it, right?
Yeah,
What you want is comic book people who are interested in Web3. What you want are writers and artists who want to be a part of what we're building. And that's something else, right? That may not sell out immediately. You know what I mean? So.
Yep, and that can be okay. You know, it's just it's unfortunate that the optics of this space have created this ridiculous expectation. I think as far as selling out immediately, and if you don't do it, then what's wrong with your project, kind of thing. But I think it's a good way to go is to try to build the real community, and if that takes a little more time, you gotta be okay with that. But yeah, man, the art is awesome. I think the art will inspire the real creators, and if you include all that comic book derivative stuff, I'm sure that'll get people's minds going.
I'd love to see what the derivative art is going to look like too.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the best I could do is some kind of like Photoshop layering, but that could be fun.
Yeah, but you know, when people start reinterpreting the characters and start giving them personalities and shit like that, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, no doubt. Did you notice there are these
backstories too? That's one of the big things, right? One of the big things with us is if you can come up with a backstory for your character. You know what I'm saying? That's one of our first contests. The person with the best backstory is going to become canon. Going to become part of our story. You know what I mean?
That sounds awesome, man. I'm gonna try for that contest.
character created by all that, credit and shit, royalty moving forward and all that. Yeah, I'm a comic book guy. I'm leaning hard on comic books and hip hop for the next year and a half. That's what I'm doing. That's what my focus is. Making these
have you ever? My bad. Huh? I was gonna say, have you ever fucked with this comic? Is by this dude Run in France. It's called Motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking dope, dude. If you like comics, definitely recommend it. It's more of an underground comic, but it's.
Wait! You talking about they made a movie, sick. Right? They made a movie. The little dude with the big, round ass black head. Yeah.
Yep. That's the one.
I know somebody. Yeah.
The movie is dope, but the comic art.
Yeah. I know. Doper. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right on. Hey, Love. I sent you a Twitter, but I figure it's easier to just ask here. Is there anything else you think I should know before purchasing this other deed?
Well, what do you know already?
I know that I can't afford one with a coda on it. Is there anything else I should possibly be looking for?
Resources, okay. The star level. Try to get a 5-star plot. Try to get a plot with resources on it or like an artifact on it. You know what I mean?
Awesome, for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And the sediment. Yeah, the sediment too, right? Try to get a black hole if you can.
I'll try. I'll see if I have enough coin to do so.
Yeah. A black hole, or one of the trippy lands. A 5-star.
For sure. Right on. Appreciate you as always, man.
No problem. And remember, probably be like a year and a half before you see any.
Oh yeah, this one a long-term investment. I'm gonna buy another CV or a Voxels parcel too.
Me too.
For the short term, so. But yeah, I just want to be on I just want to have one when they launch. You know what I'm saying? So since I have the coin sitting there right now, I never know when it's all gonna be there at once again. Might as well go.
Yeah, that's a way to go.
What's the floor on those bad boys right now?
1.74.
I'm sick. I bought one for 7.79.
Oh, low.
I feel it. I think a lot of people do shit like that. I mean, even with crypto voxels, my original parcel was like $8,000, and now if I sell it, it'd be like $2,000 possibly. But I'm not selling it, so I don't care. But
I bought another parcel for like 915. Eight was like fucking 20 at the time.
They got a dope ass Voxels parcel for like $500 or so right now, and it's
I might just fuck around and
right
go grab
by the
that
water
shit.
too.
I might fuck around and go grab that shit you play.
You feel me?
Playing games. Voxels. I have a different intent for Voxels, right? Because what I plan on doing with Voxels, now that I see really, I've had a parcel for about a year, right? We've done a couple of events. I've seen what's possible, right? What I want to use Voxel for moving forward is to showcase music, showcase artists, right? Give artists a chance to book out the whole venue and come do like a 2-3 day event here where your fans can come boom, shit like that, right? I see Voxels as a congregation tool, right? It's good for small groups that can get bigger, right? You can really build out your community there. You can stream from Discord, Twitch, whatever, boom. You can bring your community over there and y'all can, interact a little bit. I'm trying to experiment more with being in Voxels and the Oculus.
I like it. I like the Oculus, the Voxels experience.
Yeah, I haven't done it enough, but I'm going to try to do it more. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth doing more. But yeah, I feel the same way. Like all my music release parties, anything, any kind of gathering that I be throwing, it's always in Voxels.
I mean, so No, yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, especially since I'm right up the street from money, so.
Right. Traffic.
Yes, sir.
What's the most poppin' place to try to get for voxels these days? Trying to remember where Jagar said he got his.
What happened?
Trying to remember where Jagar got his lot. I'm looking at the floor. It's like 0.4 on the crypto voxels lots right now.
Jagar's is on. Damn, two Price Street or something. I forget what the fuck that is.
I'm drawing a blank on Jigar's parcel. Fuck.
I just visited last weekend.
It's Metavoxels. It's Metavoxels.
Oh yeah, that's right. He used the name Metavoxels. That's good. I'll look that up. Voxels parcel. There it is. 3 icy yard. On Chronos.
3 icy. I was saying spicy. I knew it was close. I was close.
That was close. Chronos. That's a cool name too. Cool. Anybody else? Any metaverse thoughts, feedback? Oh, what's up, Scaz?
I was just gonna say, check out some of the Voxels tweets about Chronos before you buy there, because right now, the guy, his name's Ben Nolan. He's been kind of down on Chronos, so I would just do a little research, see what he be saying, because he's a little bit, he's a cool ass dude, but sometimes he be a little spontaneous.
You better not turn around and burn him. Jagar's gonna be very sad.
That's what I mean. He's got like 200 unsold parcels on that island, so yeah. That's all though.
Bear market. He's just gotta wait it out.
Agreed.
People bother me when shit that's unsold becomes a problem in the art world. Like, do you not know the paintings sit for fucking decades and then sell for like $100 million?
Right. I'm looking at these unsold lots on Chronos, and a whole shit ton of them aren't even listed. So I don't know what they're doing over there, but there's some offers on them. 0.3, obviously below floor, but still, it's like.
What did we get the sleazy section for? Like 2.2 or some shit.
Someone offered you that?
No, that's what we got it for.
Oh shit, that's rough.
When
Shit, that was fucked up.
think about all the fun you brought people, though, man.
Huh?
Exactly.
What you say?
I said all the fun you brought people, though. It's priceless.
Oh, crazy.
Early investors, the crypto boxes, man. Keep that madman Ben Nolan moving along.
Jeez.
Well, speaking of happiness and voxels, if you want to check out the membership art B-roll, we can run that through one time if there's interest. You can jump in there and I can hit the play on the stream. You can check it out. Didn't have any new ones yet this week, but maybe, I don't know if everybody here has already seen it. You want to take a poll? Anybody interested? Otherwise, we'll just shut it down in 8 minutes. Who wants to jump into voxels? I guess you'd have to be on your desktop too, because it's sometimes a little glitchy on the mobile. Twitch stream doesn't like to work on mobile for some reason.
I'd love to hear it or see it, but I'm not anywhere near my desktop. Will be in about an hour.
Okay. Well, Lo had the great idea of me uploading it to YouTube, and I meant to do that, and I haven't done it yet, but I will. And then everyone will be able to just drop in the Storytime DAO lot and see it on the wall here. I will do that post haste, and this time I'll actually do it. That's a good idea, Lo. So that'll solve that problem. Everybody will be able to check it out. And if you don't know already, you can actually just go on Voxels and type in Storytime DAO, and it will bring you to Low Spot here and the little Storytime DAO record shop with the logo above it. And that's where we will put that video on the wall, so you'll be able to just drop in there and check out the community art B-roll. So thanks for reminding me, Michelle. That should help you. Cool.
Hey, Lo, Anya. Lo, you still around?
Yo.
Did you get the
You broke up. What'd you say?
on the back page?
What?
I said, did you get my message?
No. What message?
The one, actually, David was in the room where I was in the room with David and we were talking to Andy.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't get a chance to go listen to the replay, though. Yeah, I did see that. No. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I saw what, yeah, no. Yes, I saw that. I forgot the story.
Well, all your metaverse plots are gonna go back up low once the bear market's over in a couple years, you know.
Yo, this nigga said in a couple years, yo.
I'm just fucking with you. It might be sooner.
Yeah.
It might be sooner.
You know how fucking wild it would be to see a plot you lost a couple $1,000 on be worth a couple $100,000? You know how sick that would make a nigga feel?
Yeah, I can imagine. It was crazy times, man. Everyone was riding high. Just think about all those people who bought their apes at like 120 ETH or whatever crazy stuff.
Yeah, they're maniacs. How about that? They're maniacs. Yo, people be trying to insult me. I'll be like, yo, you know, it's not really that many people who bought it. You got to look at the soul, the activity, right? There's 10,000 of them shits. It wasn't that many fucking sales, yo. It was just astronomical.
Wow.
Right? A couple motherfuckers bought one for millions, right?
Yeah, who's that dude? The Canadian guy on Dragon Shark or whatever, that Shark Tank. O'Leary, Kevin O'Leary. He was tweeting about. He's like, maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to spend 150 ETH on this ape here. I was like, yeah, you're an idiot. But anyway, it's funny.
But again, somebody else made a point too. He was like, really? Did I make a mistake spending ETH that I paid 31 cents for on something that I love?
Well, that's the thing. If you got in at the right time, you're okay.
Spent 150 ETH. And he was like, yeah, well, but he paid it. Yo, isn't he one of the founders of Ethereum?
O'Leary? No, but he has been investing.
Oh, you're talking about O'Leary. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the other guy. The guy who bought the mega serum. He bought it for like $3 million. The one with the mega mutant.
Wow.
Yeah. He's one of the founders of Ethereum. He ain't paying nothing for them fucking Ethereums.
Yeah, Ethereum's nothing to him then.
Yeah, he think he spent like $3,000 or some shit on the fucking mega serum. What was that to him? That was nothing.
Just that crazy crypto money.
Magic internet money.
That's right.
Say it right.
That's right. Magic internet money. We all love it.
That's one I could afford.
It's the alchemy, man. It's the alchemy.
But I will tell you this. As the veterans of the golden age, i.e. 2021, when this shit rolls back around, you're going to be able to speak with unprecedented authority. Just, if you didn't know, I would advise you to be prepared. And when the scammers come, you milk the scammers. They're going to come back. They're going to come running back.
Yeah, we gonna be like the OOOGs, huh?
Not the but you know, we're going to be like the rug pull connoisseurs.
I dig. Yeah, the 2021 craze experiencers.
The fad generals, the generals of the fad. You know what I mean?
And I'm just so happy to have this other deed. I've been wanting one of these since they dropped. Woo!
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, I did. It's got 3 different kind of resources on it. I couldn't find one I could afford in the black hole, but it's got 3 different kind of resources on it. It's like one of these. It's got, let's see, it's volcanic.
Nice.
Molten environment. It's northern resource. It's psychocylic. Cosmic dream sediment.
Nice.
Southern resource is Runa, and western resource is Lumi leaf.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I got some good resources.
So that right there with the resources, right? So what you need to fuck around is try to get with one of the other guilds, right?
Okay.
And then resources, as soon as we're able to, that's what we're going to be trading back and forth. That's like currency, bro. That's like money.
Oh, fucking A, yeah. So just get in contact with one of the other guilds?
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
I mean, join them. Join the ones you like. You know what I mean?
I'll talk.
Yeah, they out there. There's a bunch of them.
Right on, man. I appreciate the info, as always. You the best, man.
For sure.
Congrats, guys. It's exciting, man.
Thanks, David. I'm super stoked.
Man. All right. Trying to get this shit ready.
All right. Anybody got any other thoughts, feedback, questions? We can call it a day at 60 minutes. I think we had some really cool metaverse conversation. A lot of good input. And Skaz bought another deed live during the call. So look at that. Got people buying lands.
Yee.
Hello? Are you like crushing ice over there? What are you doing?
Oh, no. I'm rearranging the gallery and shit.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
All good? Hi, Michelle, Brooke, K-Bot. Anybody got any feedback, thoughts before we blow up the room? I will definitely get that YouTube video up, and then we'll have it on the wall in the Storytime DAO lot in Voxels, so anybody be able to drop in and see it anytime. I'll let everyone know in the Discord once it's live on there, but definitely by tomorrow we'll be able to get that live on there. So.
Yo, K-Bot, are you gonna be at that thing on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
You gonna be in town?
Yeah, I'll be there on Friday. I get in town on Friday.
Oh, cool, man. I'll meet you guys in person. Yeah. Trying to figure out if I'm gonna bring my my robot costume. Hey, check this out, y'all. I want to tell y'all something. So there was this post called "Banking in the Metaverse," right? So I'm just gonna go down a list. There's Hannah Bank, Visa, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, HSBC, MasterCard, Union Bank. The list goes on, and many of them are in Sandbox. Visas with CryptoPunks. The majority, and there's a few of them in Decentraland. Many are from America and Great Britain. So these banks are planning on having metaverse offices, NFT purchase, VR training programs, metaverse branches, offices, lounges, virtual lands, trademarks. So the discussion of metaverse real estate is something that's going to be very important. But I think these corporations are trying to like play it down so they can come and scoop it up. And those of us who are here kind of already have wind of that. So this space is going to explode. And you know, I don't know what Ben Nolan's going to do because he is trying to not be a part of like, you know, decentralized. That's why he left Decentraland. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you guys and see what you thought about that, because it's really a serious situation here. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Those of you who are going to be here on Saturday at Thunder Studios. It's a dope ass space. A lot of celebrities filmed there, and yeah, I'm going to be there. So look forward to seeing you. Thanks for letting me speak. I'm done.
You guys going to be there on Saturday? Is it an open thing?
Yeah. You're in
Saturday
LA?
night. Yeah, a lot of people flying in for it.
Michelle, you're in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA. That's why I asked you when you were coming to town, but I have an event just from like 4:30, I think, till 9. Are you guys probably done by then, huh? Or is the next?
No, I think it's going till 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right off the 405.
So all this weekend?
No, just Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday? Ooh, man. If I can, I'm gonna make that drive. I hope I can get off work.
Yes.
I'm gonna be in town till Monday afternoon.
Word.
Oh shit.
We should do some. I'll probably do some blockchain West Coast shit, some blockchain gospel West Coast shit.
Nice. But you're talking Newport Beach, right?
I think Long Beach, actually.
Actually, it's more of Carson, California. It's on its way to Long Beach, and it's like near Torrance. You guys know what Torrance is?
Yep.
So there's a Palos Verdes is the peninsula off the 405 where Tiger Woods had that wreck near Donald Trump's golf course. Very nice, exclusive waterfront property, but it's like kind of that way, but not really Long Beach, because Long Beach is more down to 710. This is off the 110 and the 405. Basically, right where the 110 and the 405 meet is where this event's at. And it's Thunder Studios.
Sweet.
But
I'd like to come out there.
It's gonna be hot,
I'd like
though.
to see you out there.
Woohoo! Finally meet in person after like a year.
That's what's up. I'm feeling some FOMO. Definitely not going to make it to LA, but that sounds awesome. Hope you guys take some pictures.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my drone camera. So if anybody's
Nice.
showing up needs some aerial footage, I'm gonna bring my drone. And it's a 4K drone, and if you need yourself shot up, I'm sorry, not shot. Excuse me, that's the wrong way to say that. If you need an aerial picture of yourself, I'm gonna be shooting aerial videos and photography up in that space. So anybody who wants something, it's complimentary. I'll take a nice shot of you and send it to you on Dropbox or WeTransfer if you want.
Are you doing that for the organizers, K-Bot, or are you just taking the initiative and doing it yourself?
No, Astrid and JJ Love
Nice.
have been reaching out to me.
Awesome.
And I'm going to see Euphoria in person for the first time. I'm going to get on my knees and hand her some chocolate or something so we could be cool. There's nothing wrong, but y'all know.
All right. I hope that goes well for you, man. As far as the metaverse thing you brought up, maybe we can table that for Friday, but it is a great conversation. It's interesting because I feel like both Meta and Sandbox, which Meta obviously being the totally not Web3 at all metaverse, and then Sandbox actually definitely being Web3, like it seems to be all on chain. And it'll be interesting to see how Meta plays that balance because they clearly are going out of their way.
Sandbox is corporate haven, though.
It is corporate, exactly, but it is still on chain. You can't deny it.
Exactly, it's on Ethereum, and they're going to spill over. There's a lot of banks.
You heard what the SEC said?
Yeah, man, they tripping.
They said that since the majority of the nodes on the Ethereum network are in America, they have jurisdiction over the entire Ethereum blockchain.
Good luck, SEC.
Come on, man. And these are the same people who were saying NFTs was fake and it's going to be 50 years from now and there's nothing to see here. And now they're coming out with this. Man, this is some bullshit. Excuse my language.
They're also the same individuals who, are analyzing the proof of stake ecosystem and are feeling as though they have a desire to declare any proof of stake ecosystem as a security as well. So I wouldn't throw it away.
I'm not throwing it away. I'm alarmed. And we in trouble. We need to come up with some documentation and give it to United Nations.
United Nations can't save you from the SEC.
It's not about saving. It's about declaring a position so the future will know we wasn't just letting this shit happen and being okay with it.
For sure. Put it on the record, definitely. The SEC is overreaching, and they'll continue to overreach. And I think they'll fail. Even if they try to claim that all proof-of-stake networks are securities, they're not going to shut them down. The SEC, the U.S. government, does not have the power to shut down the Ethereum network. Even if they actually went out of their way, which would take a shit ton of resources, to try to shut down or charge every person running a node in the America, and if they actually succeeded...
Wait. That was true on proof of work. The same cannot be said of proof of stake, because the majority of the stakeholders are institutional investors who the government can lean on in other ways.
Okay, but worst case scenario, all those institutional investors get screwed over by the SEC, being like, overreaching, shutting them down. Ethereum price drops to next to nothing, but everywhere where nodes can operate continue to operate, and new nodes brought up in new places that are not within the reach of the SEC, and the network lives on. And everything you have on chain continues to be on chain and accessible. All your metaverse spaces continue to be accessible. Everything you have within your sovereign wallet continues to be accessible. That's why you don't keep it on exchange. So this all, yeah.
Real quick, when the SEC had a duty to prosecute banks who got us into the housing bubble, they don't prosecute Wells Fargo, who is responsible for 47,000 families of losing their homes in foreclosures, opening up bad lines of credit and fraud. So I'm just here to say the SEC is a shell of a enforcement agency, because when corporations commit fraud and extortion and RICO crimes, they sit on their hands and they don't do anything. And, I am concerned about corporations participating in the dark first, because a lot of corporations they're cartels. And the SEC needs to be audited themselves, and who's behind that shit. Excuse my language, I'm cussing today. I'm done. Thanks.
Topic. Good topic.
So a lighter topic is,
necessary.
You know who the number 2 market capped proof of work coin is now? Now that Ethereum's gone?
Doge?
Can you guess? Doge, you got it.
Of course, man.
Bitcoin. Isn't that great? I love it. I have a question. So this morning there was a post from Storytime DAO, and it was 2 rappers doing a beat, and it was called Push. Who did that?
Would have been Peggy pushing it out. I don't know who created it. I didn't see it yet.
Well, some of the lyrics were Push, and I mean, it was like fucking dope. It was really good.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was a post on Instagram this morning that I saw from Storytime DAO, and it was 2 rappers doing a beat on there, and it was like, wow.
Should be in the description.
So good.
It's probably a repost.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, it was great to wake up to that, like, oh shit, this is great, so anyhow.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. I don't look at Instagram enough. What, Meta Dre?
And I saw that,
How do you lose a painting?
What?
I can't find this painting.
Like IRL?
I took it off the wall to take a picture of it, put it online, and now I can't find it to put it back on the fucking wall.
Holy shit.
Fucking David. My bad.
Here's one other thing about Instagram. I think Micah got hacked today on his Skid Row crypto account. Some guy DM'd me from that account asking if I said, "Oh, I just made a great crypto investment. You want to get in on it?" And I go, This is not Micah. So just be aware of that. If anybody else gets hit up.
Yeah, there's no way he would do that.
No, this got brought up, I think like 48 hours ago. Yeah, his account is compromised. I don't know if he's made any announcement, but we're aware of it.
Was his account compromised, or is it a scam account?
I think it's a scam account.
Make sure we know the difference, because I was told that his account was compromised, just to be mindful.
Well, it could be, but I've had conversations with him before on there, and
you didn't see the previous ones?
Exactly.
Oh,
so
then okay,
that
correct.
Would lead me to believe, I could be wrong, but yeah, that was my first clue, kind of going,
Okay, report it, screenshot it, and send that to him so he knows the difference. Yeah.
I already DM'd him on Twitter already, so okay.
I guess he's reached celebrity status. Now he has, like, imposters.
The creepy thing is they had his artwork and everything up on there,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen to a lot of people, especially in this space. They'll just clone your entire account and act like you. So, yeah. Okay, so are we wrapping up this meeting?
Sounds good, Adrian. I'm down. I want to give a shout out to Oscar and Anita in the crowd. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to upload that video in the Storytime DAO lot so everyone can check it out. There hasn't been any additions to the B-roll video yet, but if anyone wants to add any for next week, just DM me direct or just mention it in the Discord chat. And Oscar, I'm really liking that Stoic PFP, man. I wanted to get one of those. It's nice. Looking nice. Looking nice. All right. Anyone final thoughts? Guess we'll blow it up. Adrian, you want to do the honors?
Sure.
All right. Thanks,
See you guys
everybody.
later.
Peace out.
Peace.
Yeah.